So I think we will begin. In the last class, we have applied principle of minimization of potential energy to a particular problem. Now in this class, we are going to consider a generalized problem of a 3D body subjected to generalized loading system. So you already know there are three types of loads. One is line load, another one is surface load, and third one is volume load. So do you know what is a line load?
uh, Force acting per unit length.
Yes. So line load is a type of load which can be idealized to act over a small line along the surface, along the body, on the body, and its units are going to be Newton per meter or kilonewton per meter. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you can look at the line that I have drawn on this body here. I have drawn the body in arbitrary shape. What size of the body is right now not a concern for me. So let us say there is a body of an arbitrary shape over which you have a line load along a particular line. Then what is surface load? Can you tell me what is surface load, Prajot?
Uh,
Uh,
so
yeah, go
which
ahead.
act over the surface of the body.
Correct. So which acts over the surface of the body, and it is going to have units of kilonewton
Kilonewton per meter.
meter square. Meter square.
Meter square. Okay.
So there we this surface load we are going to call it as Fs. So what is the designation that we give for surface load? Fs. The line load we are going to call it as Fl, and it is going to have unit of kilonewton per meter. So here the unit is kilonewton per meter or Newton per mm, whatever. Unit of force divided by unit of length. And then there are third type of forces which are volume loads or body forces. So what is the unit, Prajut?
Kilonewton per meter cube.
Right. So these are the forces which have unit of kilonewton per meter cube. We have discussed this in theory of plates and shells. And we denote these loads by nomenclature FB. So B stands for body loads. Weight density, isn't it
Yes,
the example
density
of
of.
volume load? Yes, weight density of a material. For example,
Yes,
25 kilonewton per meter cube is the self-weight density of reinforced concrete. So it is that
concrete.
density is
Yes,
the example of volume load. Do you agree with me?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Now quickly, if I want to convert these loads into forces, what should I do? If I want to convert uh, the surface line load into force, क्या करना पड़ेगा बोलो?
So, total length we have to.
Multiply.
Hello.
So we have to multiply that FL by length.
Yes,
Then that will
length.
be the force. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
But जरा एक चीज मुझे बताओ, is it mandatory that the intensity of FL should be same throughout these points? ये same होना चाहिए क्या? नहीं, ये बदल सकता है. Do you agree
नहीं.
with me?
Yes, sir.
So how do I obtain the total force corresponding to this? क्या करना पड़ेगा? So I will consider a small strip of length DL. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And the ordinate FL at that location multiplied by this DL gives me the small force corresponding to this DL. And if I integrate it over 0 to L, I get total force. Do you agree with me?
Total force. Yes, sir.
So that force I will call it as capital force. That is the total force corresponding to line load. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is small fs, this is small fb. Now if I want to calculate total surface force, तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? So I will have to consider a
Length
small
into.
area here. देखो, I will have to
Yes.
consider a small area here. That area I am going to call it as dA.
The-
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
On that dA, the intensity of surface load is Fs.
FS.
So Fs into dA is the small. Integrate it over the entire area. That is going to be the total surface load. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And you have to understand that when I say dA, that means, in fact, even though I have written it as single integral, it involves double integrals. It is going to be something like in double integration over dx and dy.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, how do I write total volume load or total body load? तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? I will have to
FB into
construct
DV.
a small cube of size dx, dy, and dz.
Dy dz.
Multiplied by FB. So FB multiplied by dx, dy, dz,
dz.
which I am going to call it as dv,
Hmm.
and its integration over the entire volume. This is going to give me the total body force. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So can you see this portion of the diagram where, what am I saying? Line over which displacement is specified.
Yes, sir.
This is the boundary condition. This is the line along which the displacement is already specified. That displacement may be zero. For
Yes.
example, if it is hinge support, then displacements of all the parts along this line will be zero. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Similarly, I have something here, that is, this is the surface. This is the surface where displacement is specified. These displacements can be zero or non-zero. For example, you must have solved the problem of continuous beams where you have support sinking. Let us say support B sinks by 5 mm. So displacement is specified, but it is non-zero. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So this surface where displacement is specified and this line over which the displacement is specified, these two contribute to boundary conditions or support conditions of the body. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us write down potential energy associated with various external actions. So what are the external actions? Can you tell me what are the external actions in this?
Loading of
Correct. So that means line load, surface load, and body load. These three are the external actions. Do you agree with me?
yes, sir.
And what about reactions? Are reactions external to the body or internal to the body?
External.
External, yes. So even reactions are external actions. Do you get my point?
Yes.
So therefore, we are now going to write down potential energy associated with external actions in terms of external body loads, surface loads, and line loads, as well as reaction loads. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me write down the potential energy associated with external load, line load. तो कैसे लिखूं? So I am going to consider small element dl. Are you with me? Over which
Yes, sir.
displacement, let us say, is u. Mind you, this is displacement in the direction of that line load. So I'm going to call it as UL. So what is UL? UL is the displacement in the direction of FL. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This multiplied by FL. So FL into DL is the small force multiplied by UL. That is displacement in the direction of FL into DL. FL into DL. This is what is called as potential energy associated with line force on length dl. Do you agree with me? So how do I write total potential energy due to line force? I will have to integrate it over the length. Do you agree with me? This integration has to occur over the length over which you have line load.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Just let me clarify. ये जो u है, this u, ul, ये कौन से direction में है? X, Y और Z. Let me give you the directions. This is X direction. This is Y. And this is Z direction. So now tell me, this UL is in which direction? X, Y or Z?
Um,
None of this, because this UL is in the direction of FL. Do you agree with me?
okay. Yes. Yes.
So you have to understand that this FL itself has three components: FX,
Hmm. Okay.
FLX, then FLY, and
Hmm.
FLZ. Are you with
Yes,
me?
sir. Yes, sir.
So this intensity itself is going to have three components. This DL is also going to have three components: DX, DY, probably.
Yes.
Do you agree with me? And DZ.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
FLX, DX, FLY,
Yes.
DY, and FLZ, DZ.
Yes.
These are the forces in X, Y, and Z directions acting
Yes.
over DL. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Correspondingly, I can resolve this UL into two components: ULX, ULY, and ULZ, and then we can take the multiplication. So how to evaluate this integration is altogether a different issue. But in principle, what we are evaluating is integration of FL into UL DL over length
Hmm.
L. Do you agree with
Yes.
me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can you, what is missing here in this expression? Can you point out that? When I write the potential energy, I associate
Hmm.
negative sign with it. Do you agree with me?
Yeah. Yes.
एक्सटर्नल फोर्स के लिए नेगेटिव साइन देना है.
Hmm.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me, what is the potential energy associated with surface forces? It is going to
Minus
be Fs
Fs US.
into dA. What is Fs into dA? So I have considered a very small area dA here. Over that
Yes.
dA, whatever is the intensity of Fs, that Fs multiplied by dA is the small
Hmm.
force on that small surface area dA. Displacement there is in the direction of Fs, so I am going to call it as Us.
Yes. Yes.
So Fs Us dA and its integration over area A, total
Yes.
area A. This is going to
Yes.
give me potential energy associated with total potential energy associated with surface load. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So I am going to call it as minus A, minus sign. And similarly, you will agree that integration over the volume
Yeah.
Fv
UV.
into UV into dV.
DV.
This is going to give me the surface is a
Okay.
potential energy associated
Hmm.
with body forces. Do you agree with
Hmm.
me?
Yes, sir.
So we have now considered all the loads. Now let us consider reactions. So how do I
Hmm.
write? So, how do I write this term? चलो अब इसमें मुझे बताओ, in all
Hmm.
these three terms, what is known and what is unknown? Ashu, you have to tell me in this term which is the known quantity
Hmm.
and which is the unknown quantity.
Force is known.
Yeah, so FL is known, Fs is known,
F
and
is
Fp is
known
known.
and F is
Whereas UL, US, and UV are unknown
known.
quantities. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. Next thing that I am going to tell you is very much important. Let me consider this line over which the displacements are specified.
Hmm.
So therefore, the forces cannot be specified. So अब जरा देखो, corresponding to this displacement, again I am going to consider a small segment of length dl.
Hmm.
Do you agree with me? And
Yes, sir.
integration over this dl, on this dl, what is the
Hmm.
displacement that is specified? It is u. And what is the reaction? As displacement is specified, you are going to have reaction r in the direction of u.
Yes.
Do you agree with me? So
Yes, sir.
ru into dl, ru का यूनिट क्या है? न्यूटन पर मीटर और किलो न्यूटन पर
Hmm.
मीटर.
Meter.
It is the reaction per meter length. So ru
Yes.
into dl is the small reaction corresponding to length dl, and multiplied by u is, and its integration over the length l, or let me call this total length as l dash here. So over the
Hmm.
l dash over which this displacement is specified, this is going to give you the potential energy associated with reaction. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, if the displacement specified is 0, then what happens to this term? This term vanishes. You can look at this surface over which displacement is specified. So corresponding to that, we are going to have potential energy, and that potential energy is, let me say that this surface area is A dash. So integration over A dash, reaction
A.
into
Yeah.
U into dA.
Mm.
And again, what is
Mm.
specified here? Specified thing is U, and you have to find out RU. RU is the reaction per unit area. Units alag hai, देखो.
Yes.
RU is kilonewton per meter square. Are you with me?
Mhm. Yes, sir.
So potential energy associated with elastic force. So that is nothing but potential energy stored in the form of strain energy. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So now how do we write strain energy? Strain energy per unit volume is written as stress tensor transpose into strain tensor. Do you agree with
Mhm.
me? Now you have to
Yes.
consider this is the case where all the stress components and strain components may prevail in general. So stress tensor will have sigma xx, sigma yy, sigma zz, tau xy, tau yz, and tau xz.
Mhm. Yes.
And strain tensor is going to have epsilon xx, epsilon yy, epsilon zz, gamma xy, gamma yz, and gamma xz. Half stress into strain is strain energy stored per unit volume.
Okay.
So therefore,
Mhm.
I have proved this in theory of plates and shells. But if
Mhm.
time permits, I will prove it at the end of this lecture. So half stress transpose into strain. Why stress transpose? What is the size of stress tensor? It is 6 cross 1. What is the size of strain tensor? 6 cross 1. So 6 cross 1 matrix cannot be multiplied by 6 cross 1 matrix. So therefore, we
Yes.
have to take the transpose of one of the matrix. So this is 1 cross 6
6 plus
and this
1.
is 6 cross 1. So now multiplication is possible, and
Yes,
the
sir.
size of matrix will be 1 cross 1. So it is just a element. So energy is just a element. Therefore, the product is just a number. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, stress tensor transpose multiplied by strain tensor. This is the strain energy stored per unit volume. So what is the strain energy stored? In a small cube of size dx, dy, and dz. This is dx, this is dy, and this is dz. What will be the strain energy stored there? So I have to multiply it by its volume, dx,
X.
dy,
Y.
dz.
Mm.
Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Can I replace this by dv? Yes, very much.
Yes.
So I can replace this by dv. And stress and strain in general are going to vary from point to point in a body. So therefore, how many such infinitesimally small cubes I will have to consider? Infinite. So what is the total strain energy stored in the body? I will have to integrate it over volume.
Yes.
So its longhand expression would be something like this: triple integration over x, y, and z, half sigma transpose epsilon dx, dy, dz.
Yes.
Are you able to understand this?
Yes.
Okay. So we have now written down potential energy stored in the body on account of its elastic behavior, that is also called as strain energy. So what is the total potential energy? So can I now write total potential energy of the body? Total. It is summation of external potential energy plus potential energy stored due to strain energy. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One point we are missing here. Can't this body be subjected to point loads?
Uh,
Yes,
yes,
it can be
it can
subjected
be.
to point load. And let us say it is subjected to n point loads. So what is the strain energy associated? What is the potential energy associated with point loads? So summation of I equal to 1 to n, where n is the counter. There are n point loads on the body. Are you with me? So it
Yes.
will be phi ui.
Mm.
There is no integration here. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
There are n number of point loads f1, f2, f3, f4 up to fn, and
Yes.
corresponding to f1, f2, f3 up to fn, there are n displacements in the directions of these FIs, u1, u2 up to un. So what is the potential energy associated with them? F1 u1, f2 u2 plus f3 u3.
Yes.
Are you with me? With minus
Yes,
sign.
sir.
So we have considered all types of loads. This is point load, this is line load, this is surface load, and this is body load. And this is
Yes.
line reaction, this is surface reaction, and you can as well have concentrated reaction. So let us say there are n number of concentrated reactions. So I will have to write summation I running from 1 to L. L are the number of concentrated reactions. And what should I say? Ri, Ui.
Mm.
समझ में?
Yes.
So UI are the specified displacement at various points on the structure. So ये दो terms हमने additional add किए to make it concise, to make it complete. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let me clear this part. You have to understand, wherever I am writing down the expressions for reactions, displacements are specified and reactions are unknowns. And wherever I am writing down the expression for loads, their loads are specified and displacements are unknown. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
In this, I now have to add the component of strain energy. So how do I add the component of strain energy? It is integration over the volume, stress tensor, transpose, multiplied by strain tensor, dV, and half is sitting there. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And we have to minimize this potential energy. This is the problem that we were solving. And you had an uniformly distributed load over 3-meter run. This bar had AE, area A, and modulus of elasticity E. Now, instead of uniformly distributed axial load, let us say that this body is subjected to uniformly varying axial load. And the intensity is 0 here, and intensity is, let us say, 10 kilonewton per meter here. This load acts in this direction. Are you with me?
Okay.
And let us make it tensile. It is acting in this direction. I have simply shown how its magnitude varies 0 to 10 kilonewton per meter. Now, I am going to divide this into two elements. दो element में मैं इसको divide करने वाला हूँ. So the first element is going to have the length of 1.5 meter, and second element is also going to have the length of 1.5 meter. I am going to call this as element number 1. I denote it by E1. I am going to call it as element number 2, E2. And what are my principal unknowns in this problem? The principal unknowns in these problems are axial deformations or axial displacements at A. Let me call this point as C, A, C, and B. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now this point A, I will denote it by node number 1. This is node number 1. This is node number 2. And this is node number 3. So element E1 runs from node number 1 to node number 2. This is nodal connectivity. Are you with me?
Yes,
Element number 2, it is from node number 2 to node number 3. This is called as nodal connectivity of the elements. समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ.
Okay. So if this much is understood, we will proceed further. Displacement in x direction. Let us call this direction as x. So displacement in x direction at node number 1, I am going to call it as u1. क्या बोल रहा हूँ? u1. Displacement at node number 2, I am going to call it as u2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
1 minute. Just give me a minute. u1. Then displacement at node number 2, I am going to call it as u2. And displacement at node number 3, I am going to call it as u3. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
जरा carefully observe करो मैं क्या कहने वाला हूँ. u1, u2, u3 are the nodal displacements at node numbers 1, 2 and 3. I am going to treat only these displacements as unknowns. And what about the displacement at the interior of these elements? So I am going to come up with some interpolation scheme so that I get displacement within the element.
Yes.
Knowing u1 and u2 and u3, I can write down displacements within the element. अब जरा यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. We will now consider the first element. ये first element consider किया. What is its first node? What is the coordinate of its first node? X coordinate is 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
What is the coordinate? This is element number 1. Its first node X coordinate is 0. Chalo. What is the coordinate at second node?
1.5.
1.5.
5.
Do you agree with me? These are the coordinates.
Yes. Yes, sir.
अब जरा ध्यान दो मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ. I am going to express u of x in first element, u of x in element number 1 as the interpolation between u1 and u2. What is the displacement here? u1. What is the displacement here? u2.
U2.
And I am going to use this expression n1 u1 plus n2 u2. ऐसा expression use करने वाला. Now, if this u has to be function of x, n1 and n2 are ought to be functions of x.
Yes.
And I call these n1 and n2 as interpolation functions or by simply shape function.
Yes,
Now
sir.
let us look at some of the properties of this n1 and n2. अब जरा देखो. At x is equal to 0, I am at first node of the first element. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
As x is equal to 0, what is u of x? u1.
Plus U.
X is equal to 0. I want u of x to assume value u1. So that means when x is equal to 0, I want n1 to be equal to 1 and n2 to be equal to 0.
0. Yes.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
चलो अब एक आगे और एक काम करते हैं. When x is equal to 1.5, where am I?
U2.
I am at node number 2, and at that time u of x should be equal to u2.
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है? If this is demanded, then क्या करना पड़ेगा? I want n1 to vanish. At x equal to 1.5, n1 should be equal to 0 and n2 should be equal to 1.
1.
So have we got some insight about how n1 and n2 should be? तो अब जरा देखो, I am going to write down n1 by inspection. n1 should be 0 at 1.5. Do you agree with me?
1.5. Yes, sir.
So if it has to be 0 at 1.5, I am ought to include this term. देखो, if n1 में ये term होगा x minus 1.5, then only it will become 0 at 1.5. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, if I substitute x equal to 0 in this, what is the value? Minus 1.5.
1.5. Yes, sir.
But at x equal to 0, I want n1 to be
Plus.
1. So मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? I will have to divide it by minus 1.5.
Hmm.
Now tell me, does this n1 satisfy both these conditions?
Yes, sir.
At x equal to 0, it is 1,
1.
and at x is equal to 1.5, it is
0.
0. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
And now let me write down n2 by inspection. So how do I write n2? N2, what are the conditions on n2? At x equal to 0,
Yeah,
n2
okay.
should be 0.
Hmm.
So that means I must write down x minus 0 term. 0 is the coordinate of first point, but x minus 0 is x itself. Now if I substitute
Yeah.
x equal to 0, n2 becomes 0 at
Hmm.
first node. Do you agree with me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
At second node, I want this n2 to be equal to 1. So what should I do?
Yes.
I will divide it by 1.5. So when x is equal to 1.5, this becomes 1.
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Now, can I express u of x as, देखो, u of x equal to n1 u1, मतलब x minus 1.5 upon 1.5, x
Minus 1.
minus 1.5 upon minus 1.5
Hmm.
times u1
Yes.
plus x upon 1.5 times
X minus
u2.
0. X minus 0.
Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Substitute x equal to 0. What do you get? The second term will vanish. The first term will be u1. So u of x is u1 at x is equal to 0.
0. Yes.
Now substitute x is equal to 1.5. What do you get? This term will vanish and you will get
1.
this
Means
term as
U2.
1. So you will get u2. So is this shape function, is this interpolation function satisfying the boundary conditions at the elements?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Therefore, I am going to consider this as the variation of u of x. Now, can you tell me what is the power of x? 1.
Yes. 1.
So, therefore, this is called as linear interpolation function. Linear interpolation function. And this n1 and n2, these are called as shape functions associated with node 1 and node 2. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Let us go to element number 2. Let us go to element number 2. So its first node is 2 and second node is 3. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is, now I will call this shape functions as n2 and n3. Mind you, this n2 is different than this n2. This is for element number 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Now what is the coordinate, x coordinate? Tell me. X coordinate here is 1.5
1.5.
and x coordinate here is 3.
3.
Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
And I am going to call the displacement at node 2 as u2 and displacement at node 3 is u3. So how do I write u of x within the second element? तो कैसे लिखना पड़ेगा? It must be n2 u2. Mind you, this n2 is for element number 2. It is not for element number 1. That is different. n2 u2 plus n3 u3.
U3. Yes.
What are the conditions? At x is equal to 1.5. At x equal to 1.5.
Ux is equal to U2.
U of x is equal to u2. So I want n2 to be equal to 1 and n3 to be equal to 0. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. And at x is equal to 3. That means at node 2. I want n2 to be equal to 0 and n3 to be equal to 1. Then only u of x will become u3. Are you with me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Everybody else, have you understood these conditions? Please type your response. Yes. So how should I write down N2 for element number 2? This is all going for element number 2. How do I write?
Hmm.
What are the conditions? N2 should be 1 at x is equal to 1.5 and it should be 0 at x is equal to 3. We will start with the condition where it should be 0. So if it has to be 0 at x is equal to 3, I ought
3
to
minus
include term x minus 3. Do you agree? Ashu? Hello?
yes,
Yeah. So x minus 3. Now if I substitute x equal to 1.5, what is the value? 1.5 minus 3. So minus 1.5.
hmm.
Do you
So,
agree? So I must
hmm.
divide it by minus 1.5.
Yes,
If I do that, then and then only N2 becomes 1 at x equal to
1.
1.5.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you agree? And
Yes,
what
sir.
is the value of N3?
Mm, x,
What is the condition? I want N3 to be
x
0
upon
at x
3.
equal to 1.5. So if it has to be 0
X
at x equal to 1.5, it is x minus 1.5.
5. Hmm.
And I want it to be 1 at x is equal
Hmm.
to 3. So I have to divide it by 1.5
Divided by 1 minus 1 point. No, plus.
plus 1.5.
Yes.
Are you with me? So
Yes,
now
sir.
what is u of x in second element? It is x minus 3 upon minus 1.5 times u2 plus
Hmm.
x minus 1.5 by 1.5 times u3. Do you agree with
Hmm.
me?
Yes, sir.
So now we are able to express u of x anywhere in entire beam AB. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Let us take this problem forward. We now need to write down the expression for potential energy. So potential expression for potential energy will be given by summation of potential energy corresponding to external load plus potential energy corresponding to the strain energy stored in the body. So let us write down the expression for potential energy due to external load. So now, Samay, can you unmute yourself? Yeah. So how do we write the potential energy associated with external load? Tell me. So कैसे लिखना है? Let us consider element number 1. So if you consider element number 1, can you tell me how is the external load acting here? What will be the ordinate here? 5
Yes.
kilonewton per meter, because we are considering element number 1 and we have this length as 1.5 meter. So go distance 3 meter, you get 10. So as it is linearly varying intensity, go distance 1.5, sorry, go distance 3 meter, you get 10. Go distance 1.5, you shall get 5 kilonewton
5.
per meter. And this is tensile intensity of tensile loading. Now,
Yes.
at distance x from left end, I consider a strip of width dx. Question: how small this dx should be? This dx should be so small over which the intensity of loading can be assumed to be constant 1. Dx should be so small such that over which I can assume the value of x directional deformation u of x to be constant. Are you with me?
Yes.
So there are two things. One, u can be assumed to be constant over dx, and second, intensity of loading, axial loading, can be assumed to be constant over this dx. So can you tell me what is the intensity of loading at distance x from left end? So go distance 1.5, you shall get 5. So go distance x from left end, the intensity that you get will be equal to, tell me how much, x upon 1.5
1.5 into 5.
into 5. So it is 5x upon 1.5. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So I will write that here, 5x upon 1.5 is the intensity of axial loading at distance x from origin. Then corresponding to this length dx, what is the total load acting over this dx? So this multiplied by dx. See, unit of 5x upon 1.5 is going to be kilonewton per meter. Unit of dx is going to be meter. So therefore the total unit will be kilonewton per meter into meter, that is kilonewton. So what is the force acting at distance x over strip of length dx? That force is given as 5x upon 1.5 into dx. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
This multiplied by u of x. Agreed?
Yes.
This is going to give me the work done, the potential energy associated with force over dx in first element. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So what is the total potential energy due to external load in first element? Integration
0 to
from
1.5.
0 to 1.5. Agreed?
Yes.
Right. Now, let us try and write down potential energy associated with external load over the second element. So can we write down potential energy associated with external force over second element? Easily. How? So I am going to just change the limits.
1.5.
Integration would be performed from x is equal to 1.5 to x is equal to 3. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
This will still remain 5x upon 1.5 because the slope of loading diagram has not changed in second element. So therefore 5x upon 1.5 dx into u of x. Agreed?
Yes.
Now how do I write this u of x in first element? So now I will write down this in this fashion. Integration 0 to 1.5. Agreed?
Yes.
Multiplied by 5x upon 1.5 into n1 u1 plus n2 u2. ऐसे ही लिखेंगे ना?
हाँ, ब्रैकेट दे दिए.
Do you agree with me? Yeah, I'm going to give bracket, but I'm not going to write it in this fashion. That's why I have not given the bracket. So it is n1 u1 plus n2 u2 into dx. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Can I convert this into matrix form? Answer is yes. देखो, I am going to write this as n1 u1 plus n2 u2. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
n1 u1 plus n2 u2. This is the matrix of size 1 cross 2. This is the matrix of size 2 cross 1. Agreed?
हाँ.
So the multiplication is going to be 1 cross 1. Similarly, can I write down this for second element? It will be 1.5 till 3 5x upon 1.5. Agreed?
Yes.
Into n2 u2 plus n3 u3. So we can write it as n2 n3
हाँ. U2.
u2 u3. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to simplify this equation any further. Let us write down now potential energy associated with elastic force, that is strain energy. How do we write strain energy? How do we write strain energy? Now in this case, you are going to have only one non-zero component of stress, and that is sigma xx. So you are going to have strain energy corresponding to sigma xx only. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah. So let us write down the elastic potential energy or potential energy associated with elastic force. How do we write it? stress into strain. Agreed? This is strain energy stored per unit volume multiplied by constant cross-sectional area A. This multiplied by dx. And
Half.
its integration, of course, half is sitting here. Its integration from 0 to 1.5. If I do this integration from 0 to 1.5, this is for element number 1. Agreed?
Yes.
Plus half integration 1.5 to 3. And I have to say stress into strain into A dx. This is for element number 2.
Yeah.
I hope you agree with this. So
Yes.
this is for element number 1 and this is for element number 2. So while negative sign should come for the external force. Yes, you are very correct, Rushabh. So this entire thing is going to bear negative sign. So I write negative here. Happy? Samay?
Huh.
Yeah. So let us go ahead. Potential energy associated with elastic force. Now we are writing for element number 1 and element number 2. Let me create some space here. Yes. So let us write down this now. Now I want to express both these terms only in terms of nodal displacement. So if I were to do that, I will have to express strain in terms of displacement. That is the first thing. Second thing is I will have to express stress in terms of strain. So let me do that first. So how do I express stress in terms of strain? So I am simply going to write this as half integration 0 to 1.5. I can write stress is equal to E times strain. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah. So that AE is going to be constant with reference to X. So that AE will come outside. So I'm going to write it as half AE times stress into strain. That stress has become E times epsilon. So it becomes epsilon square times dx. Agreed?
Yes.
This is in element number 1. And now I am going to write down the same thing for element number 2. So it is going to be half times AE integration from 1.5 to 3 epsilon square dx. Happy?
Huh.
Now, tell me in element number 1, what is the value of epsilon? Is it dou u of x by dou x? Samay?
Huh.
Dou u by dou x is the value of epsilon
Yes.
x. So now
Dou u
look at the first element. How do I write this? It is dou n1 u1 plus n2 u2 by dou x. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Are u1 and u2 functions of x? No, they are nodal displacements. u1 and u2 are not functions of
U1, N1 and N2 are.
n1 and n2, however, are functions of x. Yeah. So let us do dou u by dou x for element number 1. So how do I write this strain? It is going to be dou n1 by dou x u1 plus dou n2 by dou x into u2. Agreed?
Yes.
Hello? Do you agree
Hello.
with this?
Huh.
Yeah. So how do I write this? Now to write this one, I can express this in matrix form as देखो dou n1 by dou x dou n2 by dou x U1, U2. Agreed?
Yes.
Let us stick to the notations. So I am going to write this as capital U1. Are you with me?
Yes.
This is for element number 1.
One.
How do I write the same thing for element number 2?
N2 and 3.
So let me do it for element number 2. Element number 2, you are going to see this as dou N2 by dou X. Mind you, this N2 is different than this N2. And dou N3 by dou X into capital U2, capital U3. Agreed?
Yes.
This is for element number 2. Now let us substitute these values of strand here. So what is the potential energy? Elastic. Elastic. So क्या करना पड़ेगा? I will have to substitute
Yes.
this value here, right here. So can I write this epsilon as epsilon
Square
into
होगा ना?
epsilon? Pardon?
हाँ.
Pardon?
नहीं. It will be
Can I write
square.
this value as epsilon into epsilon? Yes.
हाँ.
But how do I write it here? So it is, just have a look at integration 0 to 1.5. Half AE is sitting outside.
हाँ. Hello.
Is sitting outside. Yes, tell me. Am I audible?
Yes.
Samay?
Hello.
Yeah, so half AE is sitting outside. And here I am going to write the values as dou N1 by dou X, dou N2 by dou X, U1, U2, are you with me?
हाँ.
This multiplied by the same quantity here,
Yes.
dx. Agreed?
Yes.
And this plus half AE integration 1.5 to 3 dou N2 by dou X. Mind you, this N2 is different than this N2. Dou N3 by dou X U2 U3, and then you are going to have same quantity once again dx. Agreed?
Yes.
Now, so to apply principle of potential minimization of potential energy, we will have to differentiate the addition of elastic potential energy this way and external potential energy this way, and then we have to take the differentiation with reference to U1 and U2, U1, U2 and U3. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
We will solve this problem a little later, but देखो पहले हमने क्या किया है वो समझ लेते हैं. So first of all, जो टोटल बीम था उसको मैंने दो एलिमेंट्स में डिस्क्रिटाइज किया. I consider only U1, U2, U3, that is nodal displacements as unknowns. Then we expressed displacement anywhere within the element by using shape functions n1, n2, N2 and N3. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Expression for elastic potential energy, that is the first element plus strain energy stored in the second element. We also wrote the expressions for external potential energy associated with external forces by adding the potential energies of external forces for element number 1 and element number 2. Do you agree with me?
Huh.
And then we are now going to differentiate this total potential energy with reference to nodal displacements u1, u2, u3. So if there are three nodal
Yes.
displacements as unknowns, you are going to have three expressions.
Yes.
Dou potential energy by dou u1 equal to 0, dou potential energy by dou u2 equal to 0, and dou potential energy by dou u3 should be equal to 0. These are the three equations that you are going to have, and you are going to solve those equations. Do you agree with me? Yeah, okay. So let us stop for today. Thank you.